Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Colorado. More importantly, welcome to elk camp. You're here with us in elk camp, and the noise you're hearing in the background, we got the lantern going, and it's also sleeting and snowing and kind of raining outside, so you may hear some of that noises. But I wanted to share with you how we make coffee, because I get a lot of people ask me about our coffee and how we make it and stuff, so we thought we'd do a little video on it and teach you how to do it. If you're a coffee lover, you can make some awesome egg coffee, and that's what we're going to make. It's been referred to as, some guys call it cowboy coffee, but cowboy coffee is truly grounds in water with no egg. It's just boiling it in a coffee can type of thing. But we're going to make true egg coffee. Egg coffee is a Swedish, I think it was originally came from Sweden. It's a Scandinavian thing. Originally they put the whole egg in, shells and everything. The shell would kind of take away the bitterness of the coffee. We're not going to use the shells. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need your coffee. I highly recommend getting a whole bean coffee and then grinding it to a coarse. If you go with your regular coffee that's already pre-ground, it gets a little too grainy and it's hard to filter, and so get a coarse ground coffee. Trader Joe's, I'm going to give a shout out to you guys. The Colombian and the French roast that you have, whole bean, makes phenomenal egg coffee, and that's what this is. This is the Colombian Trader Joe's coffee. So you need good coffee. You're going to need 2 eggs. These eggs are farm fresh eggs. Thanks Levi. My nephew raises chickens, and these are eggs from his chickens. You're going to need a bowl to mix it all up in. You're going to need some really cold water. This is important. I'll show you later. You're going to need a measuring cup, and you're going to need a strainer eventually once you're serving the coffee. These are neat little things. You can get them at most of your kind of kitchen stores carry this type of thing. So that's what you're going to need. So what we got to do is I'm making 36 cups. We got a big group here in camp with us, so we make 36 cups. There's times where we'll make 2 of these pots for the guys. So 36 cups. Most coffee pots are 12 cups. So you can do the math and figure it out. But this recipe that we're doing is for 36 cups. So basically, I'm using 2.5 cups of coffee. That may seem like a lot of coffee, but when you're doing a boiled type coffee, it takes more coffee than normal. So I'm just gonna, with the measuring cup, just measure out 2 and then eyeball the half. It doesn't have to be perfect. And as you can see, hopefully you can see that in there, it's a fairly coarse ground. So, and that's what you want. So and then we're gonna, the other thing we need is a fork. I'll be right back. Need a fork. And they're definitely a fork, not a spoon, nothing else but a fork, and you'll understand why here in a few minutes. So 2 eggs for 2.5 cups. Most people it's 1 egg with their cup or 3/4 cup. Basically what you want to do is you're going to mix this into a paste. And what's interesting is the farm raised eggs make a totally different coffee than the store-bought eggs. And the farm raised eggs actually they'll wet all the coffee grounds, but they won't form it into like a blob like the store-bought eggs will. So you may notice if you're using store-bought eggs that just doesn't look the same, and that's why. But basically you just keep stirring it all together until all your grounds are wet. Okay, I got it all mixed up for you. Now I scooped up some grounds, just some dry grounds here, but you can see, hold it there for you, you can see that on your right in the blue bowl, you can tell that they're wet, and over here obviously they're dry. Okay, so the store-bought eggs are actually they're gonna want to all stick together, and it's just different. Honestly, I can't tell a big difference between the farm fresh and the store-bought eggs. The store-bought eggs, the grounds, how they respond in the water tends to be a little better. Hate to say it, but I'll take farm fresh eggs any day over store-bought eggs, even if the store-bought eggs perform better in egg coffee. The taste, you can't really tell the difference. So get it all good and mixed up really well. You want to bring your 36 cups of water to a boil, and then we're gonna before I do that, I'm going to dump out about 1/3 of the water into a kettle. And spill a bunch on the ground. Thankfully our camp kitchen here doesn't have a floor. Okay, so, and what in this kettle, what it amounts to is the bottom hole down here is where I go to for my thing. And shout out to Cabela's, they make some phenomenal coffee pots. This is their largest one, but they have several that different sizes. So if you're looking for a good camp coffee pot, it's all stainless steel, great coffee pot, love it. So bring that to a hard boil. Okay, water's in a hard boil, so you want it really boiling. Now you got to be quick about this, so get your grounds kind of ready to roll in there. With the store-bought eggs, it's just going to be a couple clumps, and I'll actually kind of cut it into 2 pieces and drop each clump in. But you basically want to funnel this in as quick as possible. Spill a little on the ground, it's worms like it. Okay, so all the grounds are in. Now you're going to want to boil it up, and it's going to foam up to the top. And as it foams up, you're going to notice it's kind of a golden color, and that color is going to get darker each time it boils up. And you got to be quick. You got to have some kind of a hot pad or a glove, because the steam coming out is very hot. And this is why you want to use a fork again for the entire process, because you're basically just stirring down that foam. And I will warn you, it happens to me quite often that it boils over, so I rarely make this in the house. Usually it's just when we're camping or in hunting camp. So keep stirring it down. And what I'm looking for is the color change at high elevations. At lower elevations, that's not an issue, because in lower elevations it'll eventually go to just a hard boil where it won't foam up, and that's the indicator that it's ready. The Swedish recipe is like boil it up like 3 times or something, but I like strong coffee, so so you just keep doing this until you get that, and it's going to be 5 to 7 times. So we don't necessarily have to show you all those, but we'll come back and we'll show you the next process. Okay, so there's our final stir down. I'm going to kill the heat here. So we're done with the heat. Don't need any more heat on it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to top it back off with part of that water we poured out of it. You won't quite get all of it in there because the grounds took up some volume. And you don't want to overfill it. You want to leave some room on top. So I'm probably 2 inches down from the top of the kettle. Now, egg coffee, boiled coffee, you have grounds on top, right? This is where the ice cold water comes into play. This is kind of the little magic trick of the whole deal. And it's not bulletproof. It doesn't take away all the grounds, but it does help greatly. You slowly pour ice cold water on top, maybe a cup and a half of cold water, and what it does is it takes all the grounds to the bottom of the kettle. Well, not all the grounds, but most of the grounds. And this is where the store-bought eggs do a little better, because they stay clumped, so that clump of grounds will just sink to the bottom. Whereas with this, as you can see, they're more loose. So they do still go down though. So I'm going to pour in some water, just nice and slowly. Good water. Okay. Your egg coffee is done. So now I need help pouring this when it's plump full like this. So we'll come back in a second and I'll show you a cup of coffee. Because it's so heavy. Once you get a few cups out of it, it's easier to pour, but the first one we tend to spill. So, but let me talk about this real quick. These little strainers are great. You tip them and you pour the coffee, and then it catches any drips. But this way it catches any of those little floaties that you got. You gonna say anything? And you can see a few little grounds catching in the top there, but move that one out of the way. You can kind of see the color there. It's a nice dark Nice rich coffee. I get a lot of compliments. A lot of people really like the coffee. We do coffee fellowship Memorial Weekend every year, and we have a good turnout for that. Shout out to Mick Sen, a buddy of mine, who has taken up the art of egg coffee. So a little more. A little more. There you go. So, here's our egg coffee. Here's to another great day elk hunting, buddy.
Alright.
Glad to be here with you, bro.
Yep.
Alright.
Life is good in the woods.
Thanks for watching. You know what? Try it. Make some egg coffee, see what you think. If you love coffee and you love to try different things, this might be something you've never tried before. So give it a shot. Give it a try. It's none to lose. I think you'll like it. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day. And as always, leave it better than you found it. And God bless. Bye-bye.